Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans and Speed Gaming Live fans. We're here with the Final Fantasy Randomizer Finals match. I'm Caleb. I'm in the booth with Lord Fizzlebeef. How you doing, Fizzle?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a heck of a weekend watching this unbelievable number of races happening, and it all comes down to this Cheezinator versus Thunderclaude for
The
the big title.
the rematch from the third place game in our spring tournament. Cheezinator, Thunderclaude have a bit of a history, so this is going to be a fun one. Two relatively newer faces to the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. I want to say both joined in the past year or so, and have really sort of made names for themselves. Cheese, the very systematic, got a mind for the crunchy numbers of the game, and Thunder, just an execution machine. So this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm excited. I don't know who's going to win. I don't even know if there's a favorite here, but let's talk about this party that they gave each other.
Yeah, so Cheezinator had the right to draft first, and Cheezinator went with the fighter. Thunder almost immediately answered back with the thief and the black belt. So we're at 3 melee, and Cheese has to consider options. Do I commit to 4 melee? Do I want a mage? What kind of mage? It took a little bit for him to kind of analyze those scenarios, but eventually he came back with the white mage to round out our party. This party is a thing. I'm staring at it, and this is not a party that I would pilot voluntarily. I don't think anyone would, so I'm eager to see how our runners correct for this.
It's really a runner's choice of a melee white mage 2-man. It's we saw Crabcakes in chat calling to Dan the fighter and black belt immediately and just run thief white mage. It's a perfect party. Why not? It's a black belt with a support crutch all the way through. It's a fighter white mage combo. There's a lot of 2-man possibilities here. But running this as an effective 4-person party is going to be problematic. So seeing what they do, I mean, the only black magic we're going to get is post-promotion from the thief in the form of a ninja. And promotion also brings its own baggage with the black belt. Now, I've seen Thunder race a few of these in the past day or two, running up to the finals here, and he's not afraid to promote the black belt once he hits 32. So doesn't really commit to the full 42 grind usually. So I think that this is going to be a pretty wild ride. Cheese still asking for help on his side, so somebody send some help to Cheese as he figures out his perfect party and what he's going to do with this.
Not gonna lie, I would ask for help with this too. This is this is a DIY project I did not sign up for.
Yeah. So Thunderclaude naming his party after the members of his Fall League team, Team Cake and Break, as right after they took down the Fall League Championship just about a week ago, and we're off and running. I was going to talk about names, but we're going to look at some magic first. All right, hey, congratulations, level 1 fade.
Worth noting that it would have been fine if we had picked a red mage, but you know what? Sure.
And there's Temper, should we ever promote that thief. Some busted chainmail, -3, it's okay. A saber +6, that's pretty good weapon to start swinging early.
Just about any weapon +6 is kind of getting you within range of like a silver sword, or possibly even better. So yeah, I see something +6 for cheap, I take it.
So with level 1 fade, how does that adjust your approach here?
Level 1 fade is great, but we only have one source of it. One source that could get paralyzed, could get slept, could get stoned.
Could get squinted by imps right outside of...
by imps. So I'm going to want a backup plan, and that backup plan is 2 melee people using saber +6s.
Upside to imps with squint is if we wanted to get this party down to a certain party composition early on, that's a quick way to do it. Has $6,000 and a couple of okay-ish weapons hanging out for us. A falchion -5 and an iron stick +5. Iron stick +5. I like the thunder play there, putting it on the black belt.
That'll probably be good for around 10 levels or so.
Yeah. Bonking Garland, hitting him with the stick and blowing him away with the fade. Greg hanging on with 1 HP as Thunder on and through Garland. Gonna earn his level 2 and teleport back to the castle. Picking up a chime and a crystal.
So chime is kind of a later thing. I don't see anyone getting hyper excited and deciding we need to go to Mirage Tower immediately. But that crystal, I have a feeling we're going to see that handed in real quick.
And Danny383, one of the wonderful SpeedGaming Live tournament organizers and event helpers for the Final Fantasy Randomizer stuff, has shared a quote with us from Cheezinator in the race room saying, "I came to peace earlier with I'd rather the community have an entertaining race than a double nuke black belt grind jet seed. So let's just hope this comp gets us there." So
feel a little
we're on our way.
Attacked by that.
We're on our way.
It's an interesting quote because a double nuke black belt grind seed was the seed that I went against Thunder earlier in this tournament. Where Thunder showed that he is amazing at execution, where you can't have any mistakes. Every little thing is going to pile up and work against you when you're racing against Thunder. But I wouldn't count Cheezinator out just yet because his ability to really suss out strategy and numbers, I really want to see how this plays out.
So Thunder heading to Provoca, gonna fade the pirates while Cheese heads to turn in that crystal first. Chat already calling for Astos, and just gonna get a canal from the pirates and adamant from Matoya, so open world exploration and the fetch continues.
So in this flag set, we have most everything we want is incentivized at a location. A notable exception to that is the canoe. The canoe will always be loose, but there's things that we can find to kind of help us find the canoe. We could find the rod from a fetch quest, and the canoe is buried in earth. We could find the floater, so that when we get the canoe, we can immediately go in the air. We could find the key. Canoe's in a lockbox. Stuff like that. So I kind of like going for the fetches first.
Thunder picks up soft at level 2 white. X for Bane. I'm sorry, Brack, Quad X, and Bane available in level 2 black for that Thief Ninja post promotion. So Cheese also gets the heal helmet +5 and an opal shield -2, which will give him items to sell to pick up. That we saw copper bracelets +4 and I believe pro rings +5 in Provoca.
Due to the way the scaling works, those copper bracelet +4s are actually kind of functional. And the pro ring was already the best hand armor in the game. Making it +5 is just bonkers.
Yeah, it's really good. As Cheezinator picks up his canal, and they're basically runners swapping spots. Gonna see where are we going next. So probably just a beeline directly to that adamant and break on out of the inner sea, maybe sail over to Crescent Lake. I don't know if we're gonna see any dungeon diving just yet.
I think if we see any dungeon, it's gonna be Earth.
Now, how early would it be for you to check Elfland magic? I know a lot of runners like to hold off and wait until they have at least about 10 grand kicking around in their bank account.
So I'm keeping track of the items that are being sold that we picked up, like the opal minus shield and the heal plus whatever helmet. Given that those didn't get us to kind of what I would be hoping for. I hit up Dwarf Cave to see what's there as Thunder's headed in that direction. See if that gets me to the 10,000 mark. If not, I might consider taking a boat trip to Crescent Lake, fade any trash that gets in the way, hope I get the cash that way, as we find a power gauntlet.
Another piece of the puzzle for this party. Really works with everyone, and there's another heal helmet +5. So in case we weren't sure what items we should be selling, Smithy McBeardsword reminds us, hey, take this heal helmet +5.
Yeah.
So first dud out of the pool, and a Hooray Duff snubbed.
You hate
Hooray
to see
Dwarf snubbed. Wow.
It's a run cursor. It really is.
You gotta crack them open to get that RNG out.
You pat him on the head 3 times. It's like with the USB drive, right? You try putting it in, it doesn't work. You flip it over once, doesn't work. Flip it over twice, doesn't work. Flip it over a 3rd time, it goes in. That's just IT science.
I like when he's walking along the top of the room, and you hit him come from the right, and then you hit him from the top, and then you hit him from the left. So you're just kind of like, hooray, hooray, hooray. Except he always kind of moves at one of those points, like right there. Just another Hooray Dwarf snub. So
they're killing me.
All right,
breaking my heart.
Level 3 black, just a lightning 2, so nothing really doing there. And level 3 white, life and invis 2, pretty good. Getting both. So I guess we don't really need the full 10 grand budget here because we're only buying magic for 1 mage.
True, we have a lot more latitude for that, but if we had... level 4 is going to be the make or break level, because if we have a loaded level 4, we're going to really wish we had that 10 grand.
Well, we're at about 7 now, so should be okay. And we got iron armor. It's pretty good.
So still no sign of the shop item. One of the other things that we're really going to want to spend money for. In level 4, black, we've got fire 3, so no sign of nuke for the thief. That's going to clamp down on his promotion prospects, but we got just harm 4 out of level 4 white magic, it looks like. And I guess A-Rub, it's a bit of a niche pick.
Yeah, it'll serve a purpose until we find some ribbons or money to get those pro rings.
Yeah.
But Crab Cakes in chat pointing out we do get life on the night, so that life, or the fighter, proving having to have some worth there. Should we get an early tail, maybe we'll see somebody drop that black belt and go fighter, thief, white mage with the level 1 temper for the thief, and fade and life available for the knight. That could be a viable 3-man and just sort of scuff the black belt.
Potentially. We're missing real actual weapons.
Find one.
We're also missing real actual grind tiles, so I think this Earth Cave check would be my kind of decision point on what party I want to end up with. But at this point, I'm kind of almost leaning Fighter Thief White Mage.
And there's Exit at level 5 along with X Fur. And both runners simultaneously holding hands. This is remarkable. And here we go. Here's the divergence. Cheese heading to Earth, Thunder heading to Crescent Lake.
With Exit in hand, I like the Earth Cave check. This is...
It was also level 5 Exit. It was level 5 Exit, so we don't have those charges just yet.
True, but better than average chance we can find something on these tiles to take for experience. Not this encounter, mind you. This is a no. But there might be something on the next one that's really going to work out for us.
Still no vendor item here in Crescent Lake, so vendor item will be airship locked as northern docks are turned off. And there's Cure 4 and Wall, so good magic there. I believe it was Cure 4 in the second slot, so gonna need to be promoted for that. And there's our slab, and I think that's Thunder's first eye roll of the day, so... Thunder, a very emotional player, wears his emotions on his sleeve with his frustration with routing in these seeds sometimes, but the big save back at Melmond resets all the way back, and he's at the Earth Cave, so that's a move I haven't seen since Hype's Nova in the spring tournament.
It's a real good move. You drop the save point at basically a fork in the road, and then you head off towards something, and if that something ends up being nothing of what you want, you hit reset, you're all the way back at the fork, you just head in the other direction. It can be a major time saver, but it's also a bit of a risk, because if something kills you, like, midway through, that's a lot of time that you're going to have to claw back.
So we swap spots, and now Cheese going to buy that exit and save it. And I imagine now Cheese is going to head off to Crescent Lake, or do the quick burn of the 2 encounters, and no, we're going back. So here we go, Manticores. This is a good one.
This is a real good one. That black belt is starting to look more appealing. Thunder seems to agree.
Alright, do we have Manticore facts? Because I think we might be here for a little bit.
Sure, Manticore facts. Part of that one's yellow and the other part's orange.
And sometimes they're green if they're sphinxes. Alright, Cheese gonna open boxes first. Still looking for that loose canoe. It's gotta be here, or in the marsh cave.
Right.
In theory. I guess it could be if we find a key down here in the vampire box. Giant sword +3. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Is it better than sabers? I'd have to do the math on that.
Maybe Cheese will do the Manticores here. Nope. Cheese continuing to subvert my expectations.
Looks like Thunder's done with Manticores for now. I think it might have just been burn through all the Fade charges we had, head out house, and then resume clearing Earth Cave to see if we find something that would help us, be it like a Mage Staff or a Thor Hammer or Black Shirt or something like that, just to make the Manticore grind easier.
But here we go. Cheese onto the second floor, and Thunderclaude picks up his big old +3 sword. And gonna eat some more Manticores. Cheese continuing to run from the Manticores. More interested in the boxes than the experience. The stun is kind of spooky on these. Our party's pretty crippled without that white mage.
So we did save recently, as with as soon as that white mage went down, Thunder very wisely decides, nope, we're done with this encounter. We're gonna reset. We're gonna try our luck elsewhere, or maybe we'll try again. We might be looking for levels to survive anything else that could be in wait for us down here.
Yeah. Alright, Cheese already onto the vampire floor, approaching that incentivized earth box. There's a ribbon. It's another piece of the puzzle.
The ribbon might help with this stun touch problem. The way that Final Fantasy I handles touch attacks is weird. And if I recall correctly, some of the stun touches are fire element. Thus, a ribbon would protect against them.
I remember Zenobian sharing his research on stun touches, and there was something weird about the enemy's type weakness being the thing, and then I got lost by it. So
yeah, it's one of those weird things that never comes up, but in this situation where we're staring at perfectly grindable Manticores, if not for that pesky stun touch, it suddenly becomes a valuable thing.
Thunder cannot get the Manticore to punch Deng. Instead, punching everyone but. Alright, level 12 though, that's pretty good. 15 minutes in, or about 16 minutes in, level 12, pretty good. Thunder giving the approving head nod to Dang's punch. Less so about Dang's ability to survive with 2 HP. That does feel like a very Dang Wu thing to do. 2 HP for Dang Wu on Thunderclaude's screen.
Can ninjas learn Quake this seed? I missed it.
And Cheese taking his first Manticore fight here in the box before the Vampire, and we're getting closer and closer to Canoe and Marsh.
Right, unless this box holds key or rod.
Yeah. Vampire throws Cheese up to level 10, and there's a Ruby.
Ooh. Okay.
4 more boxes, and a shot at 2 key items here. Alright, Thunder walking out. Cheese gonna go talk to the Titan.
Gotta get past the dogs first.
Yeah, alright. Just throw some meat at them. That's how they do it in the movies, right?
Yeah. Cheezinator opting to go for Sarda first.
Well, could work.
Good.
Sarda could hold the key. There's the loot, so required. But not a required double dip of Earth, as that rod and key are not going to be tied to... I'm sorry, the rod and canoe not going to be tied to Earth, so unless something's waiting for us here in the Titan's tunnel.
Yeah, it might still be in Titans. But it's a very low chance, and if it's not in Titans, then we're headed for Marsh.
Yeah. And Thunder heading back to the Earth Cave. I wonder if this is where we go below the first floor. Heal pot.
$4, a house, and the herb.
Get back in your boat, Cheezinator. We got some sailing to do.
Quests.
And Dang asleep finally for Thunder and committed to the 3-person party. So upside to that herb is it does put Cheese in a proximity to Marsh at least.
Yes.
So take our upsides where we can get them.
There's a lot of things that herb could turn into, but I think at this point the only 2 things we care about are still the rod and the key.
What if, bear with me, what if it was, well, I guess it couldn't be, yeah, it couldn't be, it would have to be Canoe down there. We couldn't have like an awkward, like, we gotta leave a forced double dip of Marsh with Canoe and the key locks. Unless herb was key, but that still wouldn't be a double dip of Marsh. That would actually be pretty convenient.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a double dip unless you really gambled on Marsh first.
Yeah. Which, who would ever do that?
I would consider it. Not gonna lie, but
it helped me a lot.
All signs generally point to Earth, which is why we saw both runners kind of prioritize that first.
But Cheese gonna get his big disappointment here from the old men and pick up the slab from the sages.
Chat pointing out that Cure 4 was promotion locked. That might be one of those things where if we really wanted it and we're committed to this black belt idea, we might just leave it and like the steps immediately prior to Topher, do tail turn in, go to Crescent, get Cure 4, enter Topher.
Alright, she's gonna go turn in that herb. And Thunder expressing his frustration visibly. Cheese, a picture of stoicism. There's a dichotomy there. You can feel it.
It's patience versus
Passion.
determination. Passion, yeah. We'll go with that.
All right. Where is Astos? Is Astos going to be the prince? Yes.
Astos was the elf prince all along.
He put myself to sleep.
And then you woke him up from his midday nap, and he's mad.
But he gives a floater with a little bit of glance. Spooky. Alright, so upsides all around for Cheezinator. This feels bad that it was in Marsh the whole time, but the big fetch that we got out of the Earth Cave ends up being the floater.
Mhm.
Now we just gotta go figure out which box in Marsh we gotta open up.
Yeah, seeing floater at the end of that entire thing, I don't think I'd even be mad, because yeah, that means that's so much canoeing that I no longer have to do, and I'm in the air doing things I want to do.
Thunder already level 16 across the board for his 3 light warriors. Don't know where Cheese is at, but I don't think the levels are there.
Last I saw, level 11, I think.
I think he's got 1 light warrior that's pushing 14, 15, but here we go. There's Thunder's Ruby. Nod of approval. And with the exit charges, so hey, good on Thunder there. Making sure he had 3 exit charges, so. Alright, so Thunder not going to be very far behind Cheese in getting this Opal plus 6 armor.
That's some armor.
That's a chunky boy. Silver minus 4, that's some tinfoil, bro. Some Reynolds wrap.
That's a whopping 7 absorb out of your chest armor, versus the Opal plus 6 that we just picked up, that's hovering around 50-something absorb.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's gotta be more than that. Yeah, 54. Thank you, Rubes in chat. Because it's 42, I believe, for Opal Standard, and then the plus 6 would give it a 12 extra absorb.
Mm-hmm.
So you pair that with that Pro Ring plus 5. Oh boy, that's almost 70.
So much armor.
Cello.
Hi. Oh.
Go revive the orb. Stop talking to me. Alright, so Canoe and Marsh bottom.
Yep. We checked all of Marsh top. It wasn't there.
That's
Where's it gonna be?
Crown box, so it looks like it's incentivized and confuses everyone.
All right, there.
That's a pretty fun box.
Yeah. I believe that is the linked box. So he could have had that if he opened that very first box when he got onto that.
Yeah, that is true. The blessed linked box that no one opens once you learn about the linked boxes. And she's gonna clear it out. I wonder, or maybe just checking the spike tile here. Rock Solid 84 calling out Schrodinger's canoe. Is it in this box? It could be in this box. It could be over here too. Worms.
Oh, worms.
So they're pretty. Maybe a sword swing and a fade. I know everybody's waiting to hear you and me make simultaneous hedging noises at the same time.
So the worms are the best experienced tile in the game. They also tend to hurt, as these just demonstrated. So I'm looking at this as, if we had levels and came back, we could get our party into, like, no matter how many people we wanted, not just 1, like 2 or 3 or maybe even 4, into low Earth orbit in only a couple minutes.
Big decision time there for Thunderclaude. Astos glanced the fighter, put us in a situation to be in a decent variable 2 to 3 person party. Because he did buy soft at level 2, I believe. So I like the play there. Taking advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. And if it gets too rough for us, well, we can just break the fighter out.
Yeah.
Question chat. Someone catch me up. So, out of the gate, we saw kind of a crisscrossing pattern. We saw Cheezinator head for an early crystal turn-in while Thunderclaude went to Provoca. They then kind of crisscrossed back over each other, and then we're basically holding hands, doing the rest of the early game checks. We then saw a bit of a divergence again. Cheezinator went to Earth Cave, Thunderclaude went to Crescent Lake. They then crisscrossed and overlapped over each other again, but Thunderclaude took a bit of a brief grind on Manticores, while Cheezinator just decided to go for progression. That's why Cheezinator is about to get his marsh-found canoe and head in the air, while Thunderclaude, floater in hand, is going to be heading to marsh and get that same canoe.
Pretty good catch-up.
Yeah.
Alright, Thunder also going to do the same thing. Check the top floor first. As Cheese going to translate his slab, taking advantage of his newfound wings.
I got this language, I'm going to teach it to you.
So, if you were opening an air business in the world of Final Fantasy, where would you establish your first Aero Biz hub?
That's an excellent question. I think I would go for where I'd start where the population is densest, and I can only determine that by the number of town icons on the ground to represent like the size of the town. So in my mind, it's got to be Canaria, because that's 6 town icons, right? And a castle. Like you can get the first class people flying. Like we got to start there.
Yeah, it's a solid move.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where would you send your agents out to get your first few slots in other cities?
We got to get the exotic locale, so I'm thinking Lefane. You know, get one of those things where you
tourist location. Lots of tourist type there, certain times a year.
Right.
Language festivals, things of that nature.
Right, and then I think the second one we got to go for, we got to really expand our kind of long-range options, our exotic options. So I'm looking at Onrak as an alternative to Provoca as a seaside destination. We've got Onrak, because like anyone can just drive from Canaria to Provoca, right? But you can't drive from Canaria to Onrak. So if we can lock down both of those, I think we'll be doing real well.
Another upside to opening routes to Lefane is the headgear that they give out this time of year. Mm-hmm. Cheezinator picks up his ceremonial crown just for saying the magic loop of words, as Thunder finds a canoe at the bottom here of Marsh, and he's going to find those worms. So, a fitting enemy for the bottom of a marsh cave, a bunch of big earthworms. It's kind of rooting around down there.
Just having a grand old time.
Thank you for your Aerobiz acumen. Appreciate it.
No
Thunder gonna take a bite out of these worms. Does have that gold -3, but the black belt just can't get the punches in. And see if the second fade shot gets it through. Nope. So we get turn order? No. All right. So Thunder also in the wiping once to big worms is Cheezinator finds some sandwiches on the ground.
Sandwiches are really good for kind of getting to like mid-teens, maybe low 20s levels, depending on how many people we're running with. It'd be interesting to see if that was... Oh, it looks like the early encounters in that section over by Lefane, sandwiches and tyros, I smell an impromptu overworld grind.
I'm a big fan of cheesesteaks and steak sandwiches, so let's go. All right, and interesting that the big difference here is Thunder immediately dove into the 2-person party when given the opportunity, and she's sticking with 4. And we're in and out for Thunder, so that was enough. Not today, Satan.
let's consider the options of keeping the.
Oh, here we go. Now we're gonna start choking on some sandwiches, Fizzle.
Yeah, I'm an expert at that.
I was
So
gonna say, tell us all about that.
let's consider the options of keeping all 4 party members alive for the foreseeable future. We're less focused, but it keeps our options open if we happen to open a Mazza plus anything. We open a Katana plus anything. Further than that, we know that we get Temper if we hang on to this thief long enough. We know that we get Fade and Life if we hang on to this fighter long enough, even if we're focused on like a black belt strategy. So, as I'm saying this, I see the order of that party, and I'm seeing... Looks like we're only going down to 3-man. I would have expected 2-man possibly for that kind of grind. But it might be just keeping options open and see if we find something that we really want, or eventually like the clock's going to strike midnight, and we're just gonna be like, all right, that's it. We've run out of time. This is where we're going.
So, how many more boxes do you think our runners have in their future to open? And that this feels like a pretty safe 2-man with the black belt white mage after a certain point. We have a ribbon. We have the efficient ways to get that black belt up to par, so to speak.
Right. Depending on when we find the key, I might see key boxes.
There's dud number 2. Again, it's not much of a dud with a Procate +4 from Astos. And big shout-outs. I want to give big shout-outs to Falconic and Igben Maya hanging out in chat, just giving out all kinds of subs to Speed Gaming Live. And, well, Speed Gaming as a whole, and Speed Gaming Live for the event. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
It sounded super sarcastic.
I'm
sorry.
I meant it. I genuinely heartfelt meant it. Like, it's the generosity like that that's just, I don't...
Oh, no. Thunder got looped.
Oh no.
So we got the slab. Forgot to go back to Melmond. So, rip. That feels bad. That's going to cost him a little bit because he did save like midway down the peninsula, and now this is where we're going to test Thunder's nerves to see how tilt-proof we are here.
Well, already we're scratching the hat, so I feel like the meter's starting to fill up.
And no vendor item just yet. So looking to kind of bail us out with a vendor item along the way back at least, and nothing doing here in the early shops. The easy-to-access shops. So vendor item likely here in Gaia or an on-rack. And it's an on-rack, the worst shop to have it in my opinion.
Everyone loves key items in on-rack.
But Cheese has that information. Or no, we have that information. Cheese hasn't gone to the caravan yet, so...
So here's a question for you. We know that there is a key item in the on-rack item shop. We know that Waterfall's incentivized. We are missing an Oxiel. Do you hit up the on-rack continent hoping that one of those 2 items is Oxiel, or do you want to kind of wait it out?
Absolutely. For me, the name of the game is get my 7 key items and go. So go to the incentive locations. Like, I'm surprised no one's gone to Ice yet with that access to exit. No one's gone to the volcano for that key item. So there's a lot of key item places to go to, and Waterfall is a quick little jaunt around through the cave network, and we know that we have both dud items, and we know that the shop items there. So on-rack cotton for me is a no-brainer. Like, I don't mind double dipping the on-rack cotton. So, but then again, I also probably wouldn't be in the finals if I were racing. So efficiency is also important, not just gut instinct.
So Cheezinator's still on the hunt for a suitable grind tile. I noticed him checking an out-of-the-way tile in Ordeals. The only reason you check that tile is because you're still looking for a quote-unquote optimal grind. So we haven't shut the door yet on a black belt, but it's looking not good. At least from Cheezinator's perspective.
Yeah, we might get something here. We might get lucky on the nightmare tile. The armchair tiles can be a little spooky with the off-tile encounters that we run the risk of facing, but the nightmare tile is pretty safe. So Thunderclaude gets his fancy cape, and where are we going? Are we going to go to Ice Cave? No. He faked me out. I thought we were going.
Stupid Ice Cave. No one wants to go there anyway.
Oh, and here we go. Here's the overworld grind happening.
Yes. Oh, I love this.
Let's get some sandwich facts going. What's your favorite kind of sandwich, Fizzle?
The one that I don't choke on.
Not quite one punching them yet. And I like the versatility of that stoned fighter, because once the white mage falls down, we can throw that statue up front and kind of help the morale break once that black belt gets activated.
Mm-hmm.
So sandworm's really good for a lot of XP, but once we start getting high levels, they start getting spooked pretty easy, and that they're being spooked is based off the levels of the party member in your top slot.
Mm-hmm.
So that fighter being a statue, just frozen in time at those levels. And sandworms are never scared of petrified fighters, from what I hear.
No, it's big old stone statue. It can't hurt you.
Unless that stone statue is of Abraham Lincoln coming through the Smithsonian window, you're probably right.
I have done my best to forget that movie already.
Alright, so the Nightmare Tile, just a bunch of worms and wyverns. Katana +1, that's an in-game weapon.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't set me alight, but it's not like a minus something either.
Mm-hmm. It's not an in-game weapon.
Yeah. Well, with the wide range of things that Blurst can roll, having something not be an end-game weapon is actually a win.
Alright. So, mission accomplished for Thunder. He feels comfortable where his black belt is. It's time to sacrifice the white mage. And there's the cube.
Hey, we got a chime. Sky, 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 sky. It's incentivized. Let's do it.
Yeah. Now, does Warmech being required standing at the top of that tower kind of tilt you in one direction or another when there's still ice and volcano and waterfall still out there?
Yes, I would not actually do Sky until I was ready to take on a Warmech.
Mm-hmm.
And that can either be through overwhelming levels, or that can be through some combination of spells and items that I can look at and say, like, 90% of the time this is going to kill a Warmech, we're good to go. I don't necessarily know that Cheezinator has the skills and spells to do it just yet.
The 1 HP Fade cast. Wow. Perfect RNG turn order luck, whatever you want to call it for Thunder right there. Huge. Got punched by a sandwich, dropped to a knee with 1 HP. Fade goes off. Gets rid of one of the sandworms and leaves the other in critical condition. Just enough time for the black belt to take all the glory from the fight. That's pretty good. It's a nice turn of events there for Thunder. Now he still has to be a little careful here. His black belt's not the sturdiest of light warriors just yet. The sandworm's still hit pretty hard.
But it looks like in any given 2 sandworm fight, we still have to use a house afterwards. That means we're saving after every encounter. Full healing is basically 4 button presses. The risk here is pretty minimal.
Yeah. And both of our runners hit up some sandwiches. They're visiting their local baker. Where's Zenobia at? He's the FFR baker. We need him in here. talk to us about kneading bread and
just
kneading bread.
Just a casual trip to our local non-logoed sandwich place.
Well, sometimes to answer a question, chat, do we prefer the single or the double sandwich? I typically prefer 2 sandwiches sometimes, because sometimes I want a cheeseburger and a chicken sandwich, and I can't make that decision. Or sometimes I want a chicken sandwich and a fish sandwich. Sometimes I just want 2 different kinds of cheeseburgers.
So I got 2 local sandwich places. One of them, a sandwich is like well over a foot long. It's enormous. It's rammed full of all kinds of things. It's an event just eating it. I'm okay with only one of those, but I have my other sandwich place. It does itty bitty tiny sandwiches that are like gourmet, delicious, hot sandwiches. I could go for 2 of those. So it depends on the sandwich that you're into.
See, I recently just got back from vacation, and I went there. It was down in a cozy little town in the backwoods of Virginia, and they had a little sandwich place that I went to, and I got 2 sandwiches. I got the hot sandwich for now. I got the cheesesteak. I'm a Philly boy at heart. I got the cheesesteak. It was okay for a not from Philly cheesesteak, and then I got the cold Italian cold cut combo, the Italian hoagie, if you will, and got that one for later. So threw that one in the fridge, and that was my dinner that night. It was good stuff.
Question in chat: does the stone character get experience? No. For Final Fantasy I, experience is split amongst all living party members. And in terms of a character turned to stone, a stone character does not count as a living party member, sort of. They will still take damage if you run over lava tiles, like in Volcano or Ice Cave, but nothing can target them, and they can never do anything. The game just kind of treats them as a functionally non-living character.
It's because they're melting. They're dissolving as you're dragging them through the lava. Life is truly a magical spell. And please don't cast soft as you're dragging your statued friend through lava. It's just cruel.
So a statue is made out of stone, right?
Sometimes.
And lava is liquid stone, right?
It's basically like a glass of ice water.
And stone and liquid stone is like moving stone, right?
Yeah, it's like swirling ice in a glass of water.
So when you drag your stone character through the lava, you're trying an innovative solution to bring them back to life, to a moving state. You're making your party member into a living golem is basically what I'm saying.
That's not how this works. You need a lot of lightning to make a golem, and a lot of fleshy bits.
What if you cast lightning on them while they're in the lava?
Or you usually have to start with them made out of clay, and then have a godlike kind of breathe life into them.
This requires further research.
I think that's something else entirely. I think that's Wonder Woman's origin stories. How about these sandwiches?
Yeah.
Greg's getting activated here. We're getting up to 6 hits. We're doing pretty good stuff. We're just hit level 33. Cheese opting for the 2-person meal plan. Getting the white mage and the black belt up to speed.
With the black belt, with Cheezinator's black belt still at 4 hits, that might just be a case of I don't trust the black belt to survive yet.
And what Cheese is doing different here is he's mixing in a steak every now and then with that sandwich. And Thunder said, no, I don't want any steak. I want carbs. And is stuck with the carb-heavy diet. No paleo approach for him.
No, yeah, it's like all the exercise plans tell you. You cut all the protein and you just load up on carbs.
Oh man, I love bread. As Greg hits 35, how much higher do we go? We know we have a War Mech fight in our future. How high do you go? Do you go like all the way and just say this is the finals, you can't hold anything back?
There's 2 schools of thought here. The first school of thought is I'm going to get to 42 now, so I don't have to worry about it, and I can take things at my leisure. The other school of thought is I'm going to get to 39, maybe 40, knowing that there's going to be a lot of trash fights between here and where I'm going to actually need a 42 black belt versus a 32 black belt. and that passive experience coming in from unrunnable encounters will get me eventually to 42.
Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Based on where we are, so based on Thunderclaude's situation, we've got Chime. We don't have a cube. Cube is in an unknown location. I'm kind of feeling the 39 to 40 approach. I look at Cheezinator, sat right next to Mirage and Sky. I'm thinking the 42 approach.
Well, Thunder put his napkin down, and he's on his way. So time to check out some magic. We've got level 7 heal 3. We can't buy that. Can't buy any level 7 magic in Gaia for the white mage. Or the black mage, for that matter. But we don't have one of those. So going to buy 40 houses, a small little housing community just being dragged around by Thunder.
So we've bought a hamlet.
Mm-hmm. Do you open your AeroBiz hub here? In your inventory space?
Well, as it turns out, we've just expanded the airport with 40 slots, so yeah, whatever, let's go nuts.
Alright, so Thunder on his way. Looked like high 30s was good enough for him, and we're going to go start punching fiends and opening the world up. So we're going to see what... Now, in the volcano, you have this high-powered black belt boulder that we're just rolling down the hill, and Thunder's answering the question as I'm asking it. But would you open boxes?
No. I believe both of our runners have a ribbon.
Yes.
One ribbon is all I would want, because we slap the ribbon on the Lifecaster. We've got our black belt at maximum. We're done with boxes. Boxes no longer exist. It's time to go. The only boxes that exist are the incentive ones that have key items in them.
Absolutely. Cheese finishing up his grind, just hit 32. We'll see if 32 is good enough. Cheese wants to go higher. Cheese also has to be careful with his party positioning, as he doesn't have that statue to throw up front if he needed to. But I think actually Thunder through that whole grind kept the sleeping thief at the top. If I remember right.
Yes.
Now, how much would it hurt if, like, you took 2 steps after this Karib fight, and it's the 1-2 fighters? They're just like, hey, we were here the whole time.
It would feel a little awkward, but honestly, I'm liking this Sandworm Tyro grind better. It might not be quite as fast, but where you gain a little bit of speed, you lose an immense amount of safety and sustainability. Yeah,
the safety of the overworld grind is huge. But speaking of that, she's in a little bit of trouble there. Probably a little closer than he wanted to get. Down to 100 HP on that black belt through that fight. Tyro's still hitting pretty hard if they get their punches in. But Thunder gets his oxygen beer from the bottom of the volcano. So that's one piece. Brewed. I mean, that's how they do it. Well, it's not hot brewed, but like I think in Germany they do it. They're warm, but I think it's just like room temperature, sort of like a nice red wine. I'm gonna stop talking about food fizzle. I'm gonna stop. Thunder's about to pull carry 1. We're gonna get our first look at a fiend here.
And I have a feeling we're gonna look at the smear we leave on the ground more than anything else.
We're gonna get a little Merilith bits all over the place. Alright, down she goes. So 49 minutes in, Thunder lights our first orb, and we're off to the ice. No, we're not gonna go to the ice cave. Why does nobody want to go to the ice cave?
It's an interesting question.
It's
out
of
the incentives,
I'm telling you.
with the incentives we have left, I believe one of them is the white shirt. Thunder may or may not be banking on the fact that Ice Cave is the white shirt, because without warp, like, Ice Cave is going to still take a long time. I would be hesitant to commit to that unless I knew I was going to get something out of it.
Fair. And here we are. We know the vendor item's here, so we need a key. We need a rod.
I like a rod.
I was wrong. The rod wasn't in ice. I'm never wrong.
You're never wrong. You're just creative.
I'm just questionably right.
Yeah.
All right. So we buy the rod. Don't even save it, and we're just disrespecting the sea shrine. I love it.
We got a big, giant, huge black belt. What do we got to worry about?
Beating up sharks. Well, they do say that's what you're supposed to do if you're ever underwater and a shark comes at you. You're supposed to crack it in the nose.
Yeah, if a shark attacks you, you just throw 8 hits at it for like 1,000 damage and just get the experience.
I don't know about you, but Jaw's about to catch some hands. Alright, Cheese wakes up everybody and starts equipping everything that he's got and that he took off. So, again, interesting diversion and strategy here as Cheese maintains the 4-person party post-grind while Thunder settles into the 2-person Black Belt White Mage with a Pocket Fighter a soft away.
That tells me that Cheese is anticipating getting a tail at some point. I mean, it's incentivized, but it's not necessarily required for this party. But seeing the other two come back to life, I'm thinking we might get some levels on them to get after we get them class changed. We might get some easy spells.
Thunder continuing to subvert expectations, opening 2 boxes in the Sea Shrine. Gets rewarded with a wooden shield and about $1,700.
Yeah,
we got a question from chat from Ragnarok. Who's tracking? Danny. Danny's tracking. She's back in her comfortable wheelhouse, tracking away. No pun intended. I'm sorry.
Cheezinator barreling through the volcano, headed down to try and do to carry what Thunderclaude has already done to carry. As Thunderclaude is, I believe, already down to Kraken's floor.
From Kraken's floor.
Yeah.
Alright, and just hit 24 on the White Mage. Thunder still, of course. Did he do ordeals already?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Danny, take his cube from him. Alright. Cheese gets the Karib Sahag pack. Confirmation that these spike tiles were not worth it.
Yeah.
Alright. And Cheese is an on-rack visit away from potential... Well, we still gotta find a cube. Or a key, rather, excuse me.
Yeah, key is still missing, and at this point, I feel like
it's an ice.
It's not. I'm not going to commit to it being an ice because I feel like every time I'm convinced things are nice, they aren't. I say it's in Sky. Sky provides.
All right, Thunder punching up Kraken. 5 hits, 553 damage. Fade rolled out for pretty high too, and then Kraken responds to the Fade in kind with a big old hit. But Thunder getting good turn order there, and jump up to 39 on that black belt. So 2 orbs lit. The orb lead here for Thunder, I believe, it's a little deceptive just because Cheese has that Ordeals play under his belt. But that's about the only difference right now.
Right. They are both essentially one dungeon apart. Themed dungeons generally take longer because you're opening so many boxes, but if you aren't, I think C is about as long as Ordeals is if the pillars go bad.
Yeah, that feels about right. There's no dungeon I love going into more than the volcano if I don't have to open boxes.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like going to a water park.
You ride the water slide all the way down to B5.
And it's
so good.
It's never turtles all the way down. Alright. Thunder into the vanilla waterfall. It always throws me off when I've ran like so many Procgen waterfalls in a row. You walk into that vanilla waterfall and you're like, whoa, this Procgen waterfall is crazy.
Why is he going left?
I've gotten lost in vanilla waterfall more than I'd like to admit because of Procgen waterfall. Like, it's always up. You always go up. You don't go up at Procgen waterfall. Or vanilla waterfall.
Yeah.
Alright, so here we go. All of the things that have happened in this game, and yet here we are, both runners, 55 minutes in. digging through a waterfall. I love this game, man.
Wyvern's not much interest here, as Robot has our key.
So this will be go mode for Cheezinator, and Thunder still has to go to Ordeals. Now, upside for him is that it's either Ordeals or Ice, and he's here. And I've talked to Thunder a couple times, like during this event, and I think he's going to prioritize Ordeals based on the conversations I've had with him.
Worth noting, Thunder talked to the robot and failed. Cheezinator opened all of the boxes that were there. And we can kind of see the time difference of what happens when you spend time opening boxes versus just getting the stuff and bailing. As Thunder is headed in a curiously ice-based direction. No, wait, we're headed to Earth.
So yeah, it'll probably be Ice after this, though. So the patented Thunder eye roll coming out of the caravan at his own routing decision. So we'll see what he does, though. I mean, he still has. It's not. This is so nebulous trying to figure out a lead or an advantage here. They're so close.
It's a question of predicting who's going to do what, I think, at this point. And really, it's a case of where Thunder's going after this Earth dive. If Thunder goes to Ice, Cheese is ahead. If Thunder goes to Ordeals, it's too close to call.
Yeah, the pot gets real murky.
Yeah.
Because Earth Cave is a long dungeon to dive, and it's still something that is in Cheese's to-do list.
Yes.
It's that task you just keep putting off. Like, I'll do it later. I'll go to Earth later.
Yeah, it's the homework you wait and put off and put off and put off.
And getting rewarded with Thundergeists when your name is Thunder makes me a little happy.
Sometimes the seed pays tribute to you in unexpected ways.
Yeah. I'm no longer gonna be known by Caleb. I'm gonna call myself Cure 4. Oh no, because the enemies always have it. I don't want to be Cure 4. What's an innocuous? I'll be Stinger. Call me Stinger.
Just don't do what I do, naming yourself Hit Punch Fade Nuke.
Alright, Thunderclaude onto the Lich floor, ducking and diving through those bats as Cheese about to pull Kraken. Got a lot of people in chat saying they want to be Ink. They're going to have to fight over those incorporation rights. It's a good Ink joke.
Oh, I just got there.
Alright, so Kraken survives the first round. Thunder gets fired, tooed, and stun touched from Lich. Oh boy. And there's another fire too, in case you missed the first go round, and Thunder says stop it and have some trolls. You can't script it better enemy fight post fiend than trolls. But luckily for Thunder, they run away. Cheese lights his water orb, and Thunder's got a decision to make: Ice or Ordeals. And it looks like we're going
This
to
is a really
Ice.
ice-based direction.
Yeah, he did not turn... Oh, we have Canaria locked.
Right, we do have Canaria locked, but...
So this will be the tail fetch, which will be more time lost. Yeah, or just the tail in general. So where is our TNT bottle combo? They must be gating the white shirt and Ice. Oh boy. So with that tail in hand, we're checking level 1 magic, getting reminded that, oh yeah, we can get Temper and Fade. But that's more time lost for Thunder. Should we go? And he's headed south.
Ooh.
This is the right play.
Ooh.
And Thunder's brain grew 10 times that day. No, Thunder. Oh, he's gonna promote.
No, it's fine because we're literally
Yeah.
next door to ordeals. This is okay. This is okay.
Yeah. So again, a slight strategy divergence. If that double fade and temper cast proved to be worthwhile, this could be advantage Thunder. Right now, it's a little bit of a time loss.
Yeah, this little stretch of wibbly routing, I think, has let Cheezinator pull ever so slightly ahead.
White shirt there. Just immediately. So where was Bottle TNT?
Bottle TNT is out of ice, like it's a fetch.
But we've seen two duds.
Did we see Incentive Katana, or did we see Loose Katana?
We must have saw Loose Katana.
Yeah.
Okay. I forget where that katana was. So yeah, even less reason to go to ice.
Yeah.
We did it, Fizzle. We figured it out.
We connected the dots. So, Cheezinator is on his way through Sky, has only Earth left to do. Thunder doing ordeals now, but still has Mirage Sky to do, which is the longest of the Fiend dungeons, even in Go mode. I still put Cheese, I think, at around 1 to 2 minutes ahead at this point.
Yeah, and if Thunder takes advantage of that promotion to like buy spells for the promoted Light Warriors, which I don't think he will, because we're not softening that night. We're leaving the ninja asleep. So, in my mind, the promotion is just so we can equip gear on the night and kind of throw them up front. Because right now, like,
yes. Because we got that Opal +6, we've got the enormous pro rings. If we find, I don't know if we hung on to a heal +5 helmet, but that was a thing.
No, we sold both of those.
So then, shields might be a thing. Even an Opal -2. No, we sold that. But still, just the Opal and the Pro Ring by themselves are enormous.
Yeah. I'm amazed at Thunder's restraint of the eye roll here in Temple of Ordeals. Have not seen that many, as Cheese remains a portrait of stoic concentration. With the occasional heavy sigh.
I don't know, that looked a little bit like a Picard maneuver just now.
Ooh, Wyvern's busting out the ice too, or no, the worms with it, so... And Thunder skipping the boxes. And here we go, first look at big old tanky robot friend. Gonna get our first peek into the potential of Topher.
This is where we all learn some things about what we're not going to have to deal with in Temple of Fiends Revisited. Let's try some Power Bonk, let's try some Invis 2. I believe that's a white shirt going off. So the 2 Invis stacks go off first. We're at 2 of 6 stacks across the board. Warmac opens with light 2. That's not great news, and the Thief waits. We're going to try a Test Punch. 9 hits for 1167. Warmech is still there. White shirt goes off. Incoming punch for 311. The Thief is down. For the second punch, 8 hits for 510. Warmech is still there. That's a lot of health on this Warmech. We're on double weight punch strats. Super punch. 9 hits, 599. Down goes Warmech. The only thing we learned is Lightning 2, which is not good news.
Yeah, it's not very good. And chat confirming via Crapcakes and Dead Pulse that it is Cure 4 in that second slot in level 6 magic, so that's a nice advantage for Thunder once we finish up Mirage Sky. That's a quick pop into Crescent Lake, buy Cure 4, and just keep that in our back pocket as we go into Topher. Something that Cheese is not going to have because Cheese is going to promote.
Cheezinator exiting Mirage as Thunder enters. Cheezinator, the only thing he has left to do is Earth Cave and maybe a little bit of last-minute shopping. Thunderclaude probably also has last-minute shopping, and a trip to Crescent Lake, but
that's coming
it.
back for those pro rings.
Okay, yeah.
Giants pedaling crack out of the Mirage Tower. There's a joke in there about the wire. I'm not going to make it because it's a tower. She's going to be reminded that Cure 4 was promotion locked, so we're going to settle with Cure 3 and Wall. But the way he menued through that made it seem like he knew that exactly the way it was going to be.
It's an inches. I can see the logic of gambling on Cure 3 being good enough. With a 42 black belt, most any Fiend fight is going to be 1 to 2 rounds at most, and there's little chance, there's not zero chance, but there's little chance that a black belt is going to get taken down in those few rounds without, like, at least a Cure 3 support cast.
Well, we could still be looking at a Fiend with high evade. And if that's the case, we don't have easy access to lock. I don't remember if we saw it in the first 4 levels of Black Magic.
I don't believe so.
Right. So if we have some fade, if we have a Fiend with high evade, my words are just mixing together today. That could be problematic because we don't have fast, we don't have lock, we probably don't have access to those spells. So the black belt's going to be on an island of just holding A and praying through these. As all the chat yelling at me, we got an air eye roll. As they're unrunnable, so we're literally punching at air. And there's not just an eye roll, but an exasperated guffaw.
I would be in that same situation because you've got unrunnable airs, and airs are already, they have a high base evasion, so if they roll up a little bit, as these did, now suddenly it's hold A and you do nothing and they do nothing, and it's just a big time sink.
Yeah. And we're throwing fades into them now too, so we're blowing our resources as Cheese getting closer and closer. We might have simultaneous orb lighting here, depending on how many more air Thunder has to punch his way through.
10 hits per throw out of that black belt, and we've seen so many attack actions so far. Every single one is missing. Thunder has incorporated arm movements to express his displeasure.
Pretty sure those were hand gestures like Greggly Puff to Dangwu. I mean, indicating which direction those airs can go. Cheezinator blows up a Lich and also gets a fun troll pack, but this time there's a little bit of bull in there too.
Kind of just jumping in after the final boss just to say hello and then not do anything. There's a word to describe that behavior, and I'm trying to come up with it.
So at the hour 110 mark, Cheese feels he is prepared for Topher, as Thunder just keeps hitting these airs and low rolls from fades. Unrunnable airs, just this has got to be frustrating.
I see white shirt casts, and I'm thinking Thunder might be out of fades.
Well, there was at least 2 air fights before this, and I believe there was one on the teleporter floor. And now, yeah, we're in white shirt stress because these airs are hitting hard, and now we're only on punching. Here comes Power Bonk as Cheese is already through the Phantom Tile.
even a crit for 347, and that air is still there. They have an unfortunate amount of health and an even worse amount of evade.
At what point would you consider resetting?
How far are we on this bridge? It would be going through my mind, but I don't know if we can afford to, because the worst case scenario is that we reset and then we get all the way back here and we hit the same landmine.
Yeah. As Cheese winds his way through the earth floor, Thunder's still swinging at air. You hate to see it come down to something like this.
Yeah, Thunder has already reclined back into the chair and is swaying back and forth. I'm very familiar with that move. It is a move of frustration. Cheezinator approaching Lich 2. We're going to show Lich 2 an uncommon amount of respect, but here we go. We're just going to do 3 swings and a harm 4. Thief Swing, 4 hits, 9 damage. Harm 4, because we don't want to lose Fade, for 96. Fighter swings in, 4 hits for 64. Quad X, ineffective. Paunch, 9 hits for 798. Well, that sure was a boss fight.
Yeah, and it was at least 4 minutes in that one fight. And another one.
Oh no.
This feels really bad.
Cheezinator
hitting carry 2.
10 hits for 458 after a fade for a couple of hundred. Carry 2 is still there. The Thief is not. Fighter swings out, 4 hits, 15 damage. Another fade goes out for 114. Incoming melee takes out the Fighter. Black Belt 10 hits, 883. Down goes Carry 2.
Adjustment here from Thunder. Definitely spending a few rounds here. Beefing up with Power Bonk, goes to punch the Naga, but she runs away first. And that's where we get the new move from Thunder, the head waggle.
Mm-hmm. The head waggle loosens the RNG and gets it on your side, as we can see by a couple of punches hitting in quick succession.
So the Power Bonk strats was a nice adjustment there for Thunder. As we get through that fight much quicker, but still another solid minute in that fight, and we finally make it to Warmech, but hopefully it's not too late for Thunder with all those airs. You know, both of our runners doing the hard resets before they're coming, or hard reset, burn 2 encounters, and then entering dungeons. Cheese did see those airs, we just didn't see him struggle with it as much because maybe the 4-person party made it a little bit easier. But here we go, Warmech coming up. Everybody awake. Gonna fight. And we've got 1 fade left. Harm 4. Rare miss menu there for Cheezinator. And Jet in chat pointing out maybe Cheezinator. Ooh, Cheezinator loses the White Mage Kraken 2, shows his affinity for backline melee strikes. And this is getting a little interesting. Because maybe, just maybe, Cheezinator will hit a bunch of airs on the air floor here following Kraken 2. But man mode adjustment time as we're down to a tank and a bonk.
With the absence of fast, I expect that that knight to just be a white shirt totem.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's see what Tia 2's packing. We get good turn order, get the power bonk and white shirt out right away. T-Mat opens with Thunder to remind Cheezinator who he's racing against as Thunder pulls Tia 1 after getting through Warmech. More white shirts coming out, and another power bonk I believe happened. I was glancing over at Thunder's screen, and there's Tia Punch for 102, so free-ish round for Cheese. Getting through the 1,000 point punch.
Cheezinator on to Chaos Floor. No casters yet, but we're moving the party members around. This tells me that we're gonna go for, or hope at least for, an RNG loop. It's gonna be white shirt, it's gonna be power bonk. Stun attempts to hit but misses. White shirt goes off, power bonk's gonna go off. Round 2, more white shirt, more power bonk. Chaos fasts. That's bad news, but good thing we're already layering on the evasion. We're at 2 evasion stacks out of 6. More power bonk charges go off. Test punch. 5 hits for 333, not the news that we wanted. I expect more power bonks in our future as a 3rd white shirt goes off. Here comes white shirt number 4, here comes power bonk number next. We're at 4 of 6 evasion stacks. Power bonk goes off. Incoming blaze doesn't do much because we've got enough MDef. Test punch. Missed. Real bad news. Zap takes down the fighter. We're down to only the evasion we've got. Punch. 5 hits for 1,000 damage. The news gets a little bit better. Another punch. 4 hits for 941. Cheezinator terminates Chaos and finishes with an official GG race time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 46 seconds. Get your GGs out in chat for our champion Cheezinator.
GG's Cheese. And unfortunately, the end of the road for Thunder, but Thunder has had a remarkable year in FFR, finishing top 4 in the spring tournament, winning the co-op tournament with his partner, the new Duckling Supreme Sir Link-a-Lot, and then finishing up the Fall League in first place with his team Cake and Break with Gregory Puff Dangu and Ale Markin. So Thunderclaude getting second here. It's a bad beat for what happened to him with those airs, but this would have been a close race regardless. So Thunder raced a heck of a race. Cheese, just that methodical approach to the game paid out for him, and luckily for him, like the battle RNG fizzled. I mean, there was one time where you and I were doing commentary on race, and I believe as we were getting ready for a submission to a marathon event, and you described FFR in a way that I won't ever forget, and that FFR is different than every other randomizer in that it's defined by its random encounters. And how you approach those random encounters is basically how you approach your strategy for success in this game. And it's difficult to change your approach because it's a moving target, because these random encounters are varied. You know, they can be 1 to 2 airs or 1 to 3 airs along with a Naga, and a couple of the fights that Cheese had on the bridge, I believe chat confirmed that only one of them was a single air, and where Thunderclaude was getting triple airs every time. It's just the nature of the beast, and fortunately for Thunder, it worked against him this time, but Cheezinator did a heck of a job and earned this win. And he's a great story too. Like, he's kind of come out of nowhere in the past few, I want to say, like, prior to spring tournament, Cheese was just sort of like in the wings and like kind of flirting with like that upper tier of the top runners, and we've seen him put on a clinic all through this tournament. So
I know I've raced against him several times in just little impromptu group races, and he's always someone that I have to watch out for. Like, when Cheezinator's there, that's who I'm looking at as someone who's going to be probably taking the top slot that I'm going to have to try and get past.
And while we're waiting to see if Cheese is going to join us in here in the booth for some celebratory remarks, because he definitely deserves all the GGs and accolade that he's earned today. And also worth noting, like, these runners, they've been running non-stop through this event. Thunderclaude, and especially like as we work towards the end of the SpeedGaming Live tournament, the amount of races that each runner's having to do in such a short amount of time is pretty remarkable. And there he is. GG's Cheese. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much, GG. That was that was a heck of a seed and a run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you had about 15 minutes to sort of relax and breathe and sort of like woo-saw your way. We saw the exuberation just sort of like overwhelm you on the camera. Just throw your hands up, hands on the face, sort of excited. What was sort of running through your mind as you're going through Topher?
I think the biggest thing is that I didn't feel like I think I made one play that felt strong. I was happy about having the one exit charge and being able to get out of Earth with the thing that led to the floater. But then after that, like I wiped once in Marsh, and then I kind of had an awkward route through the air, double dipped some towns and whatever after I got the floater, and it took me a while to just like trace down the shop key item, and I thought maybe my overworld grind was a little bit slow. So like those things kind of added up, and then I think I four-pillared myself twice in ordeals. So I'm thinking towards the end there that like this is either very close or I'm a little behind, and so I'm just like watching SRL because I can't control my, or not SRL, race time because I can't control my anxiety. Like late, I just have to keep looking, and I was actually kind of stunned to win.
And the literal hits keep coming as Thunderclaude just discovered, at least according to chat, Kraken 2 with Death Touch.
Holy smokes! I don't think
finds the black belt of all people.
Oh no!
So we're into evasion and white wizard fading. So I don't know how much HP Kraken had because you had a black belt blow it up. And our fades are being resisted. We're having trouble breaking 3 digits with fade.
What's it called? Kraken blew up my white mage. I actually mismenued once to harm 4. And I also had like a couple of slower hits with the black belt. I don't know. That was the fight that worried me. And yeah, the end of Topher was really dicey. He made it through.
Yep. Fade got him through. So the elephant in the room here is the Bridge of Destiny. For you, Cheese, I don't know if you were hanging out watching after the race again because of the 15-minute delay, but it took you about 2 minutes, and you saw a handful of unrunnable air encounters. Does that sound about right?
It felt like longer than 2 minutes. I don't know. I gave Thunder an estimate that it took me 5, but I mean, I guess I wasn't timing it. I just was kind of rolling my eyes every time my black belt missed.
Thunder going with the Masa check, the people's champion move, if you will. And it's a light 2x.
It's appropriate because you need the power of the light to light the orbs to kill the chaos metaphors.
Headcanon. We need to establish a community headcanon for the story of FFR.
Mm-hmm.
And Thunder hits airs on the air floor. Luckily, the airs here in just their pack are runnable. It does seem that it's the Thunder Gurn or the Air Gurnaga pack that is the unrunnable version.
Mm-hmm. Taking on Tia 2, we're going to start with some Invis 2, a little bit of White Shirt. We're going to do a test swing with an axe, 3 hits, 3 damage. Test punch, 7 hits for 345. Incoming Ice 2 doesn't get more than 50 damage anywhere. We're going to do a little bit of heal pot strats with some evasion, some bonk. With our white mage, a little bit more Invis 2. We had to decide whether or not we valued life charges, but it looks like we're going to gamble on needing that party-wide evasion first. Thunder goes off. Thunder versus Thunder. Thunder didn't do as well as it could have. Let's see if Thunder can do well on the counterattack. Next round, we're going to try some more heal pot strats, a little bit of white shirt strats. We're not going to use any more Invis 2 strats, but we are going to cure for that white mage. The white shirt goes off. The heal pot goes off. Paunch. 7 hits for 704. Tia 2 is still there. The nuclear comes out, takes down the thief, but everyone is there. Timely cure 4 because that white mage is down to 20 health. We're going to try some more heal pot strats. White shirt goes off. I believe that gets us to cap, but a paunch 7 hits for 554. Tia 2 goes down. Thunder is on to Chaos.
I'll wait until after you finish the chaos fight for more questions.
Sure, appreciate it. I'm gonna let you do it too, Fizzle. You have a certain joie de vivre with your chaos calls. Then I talk too much during the race. My voice is going.
I make the words go good as we approach the chaos floor.
Time for learn.
We're doing the victory lap.
He earned it, man.
Yeah,
Do it.
It's the capstone race of the Final Fantasy run, or the Final Fantasy Randomizer run. It's the capstone of SG Live. It's the celebration that we all deserve. Here we go. Let's walk counterclockwise on this floor. Count the tiles, count the pillars. Do you hear the people sing?
I'm pretty sure if we listened to Thunder's stream, we could hear the song of angry men. Shouting at air.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of metaphor here.
6 heal pots left, but I believe we did our full heals on the previous floor. We've switched over to a wear sword. For where the sword is, there the sword is. But let's try some white shirt power gauntlet strats, and we're going to do the last Invis 2 out of this white mage. Incoming ink does ink things. Power gauntlet goes off. Test swing. Missed. Invis 2 goes off. We're at 2 stacks of 6. Second round. We're just going to wait with the knight. We're going to do some more white shirt strats. We're going to do a test punch out of the black belt. Incoming blaze does a lot to that knight, but not much anywhere else. Test punch, 4 hits for 402, does well. Wall goes off, white shirt goes off. We're at 3 stacks of 6. Heal pots, go. And we're going to go with some Arab strats, an interesting pick. The white shirt goes off, heal, Drank. Power, lifted. Paunch, missed. Arab goes off. Going into the next round. 5 more heal pots left to go. Can we drink them all? Let's find out. We're doubling up this round. Paunch goes off, 1 hit for 125. That is not the news that we needed. Both heal pots go off. Chaos misses. More white shirt. We're going to drink 1 heal pot. We're going to punch. What are we looking at? Considering our options, we're going to go with a fade. Fade goes off for 248. With a big paunch, 8 hits for 1052. We know this Chaos doesn't have that much health going for it, so we're already probably most of the way there. We're probably evade capped at this point. Chaos uses fast just after the nick of time. Incoming, or outgoing fade for 119, outgoing paunch. 2 hits for 230. The damage against this Chaos is a little unpredictable with how much evade we have to work with. The ninja crits, 2 hits for 66. He's doing his best. Paunch. 2 hits for 466. Thunderclaude terminates Chaos with an official GG race time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 31 seconds. Well done to him. We're going to see if we can get him in here in a moment.
Oh, there he is.
GG Thunder.
GG Thunder.
Hey, GG's.
It's a heck of a race, man.
Was it, though?
It was. I mean, like, the whole way through, like, there was so much to unpack with the party comp, the strategies and approaches you were taking to it, and then you hit the Bridge of Destiny. What was going through your mind with that, dude?
I lost.
did it ever, like, so it was, I think it was on the second air fight where we were swinging and missing. I asked Fizzle, would you consider a reset?
I did consider a reset, but then I thought, well, you don't know how the encounter table will play out the second time, so might as well just go with it.
That's what Fizzle said.
But yeah, I did. I definitely knew I lost when I spent about 5 minutes on the bridge there. And
yeah,
it's like, whatever, just finish it at this point.
Yeah, it was still pretty close. I mean, there was a tight moment there for Cheezinator on Kraken 2 where Kraken blew up the white mage, and we were down to just a fighter black belt for Tia, and chaos as you were coming into Topher. So
Mhm.
like there was the door was open, but with
so to
how
speak, until
yeah.
you see Death Touch Kraken 2 get your level 43 black belt.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kraken was rolling like 10 hits at least.
So, yeah, I think if I would have had equal luck on the air floor as Cheese did, we would have been really hand in hand in Topher. Also, if I dodged the Death Touch Kraken on my black belt, would have been super close, I think.
Yeah. Would have been interesting to see, but you raced a heck of a tournament, and second place with this field is still a very noteworthy accomplishment. And I'm proud of you, dude. Like I know where like you came from last year, following like you joined the community right after Spring Tournament 2019, and just basically hit the ground running, and to now on the big stage here for Speed Gaming Live is dude, you come a long way, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it feels good to get this far. Like I was mentioning in my, I think, last interview I did last race, I didn't really anticipate that I'd get past Edge. So it was kind of like anything Edge and further is just bonus than what I thought I would do. So I'm happy
Playing
to
like
have gotten second.
Yeah, man.
You were, I remember you said in Edge's chat the other day, I think before you played him, that like when you get to this level and anyone can sort of take the seed going in, you're playing the RNG more than you're playing your opponent, right? And that
Yeah.
kind of happened today.
That was pretty much the story of almost every match in this tournament, to be honest. You get players get so far up in the skill level of the game that literally you just kind of get thrown to the mercy of run chances and formations and skills being thrown at you or not.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind a moment, I wanted to talk about the draft and talk about my picks, but also ask you about your answer picks, Thunder, because this one surprised me, I think, both ways. I led off with a fighter. Just straight at the beginning, I was like, I think in a foot race with like a 2 black caster black belt seed, I think Thunder will out execute me. So I wanted to just throw a wrench in it, see if maybe we were going to run a fighter comp or something to like increase the variance a little bit. But then you answered with Thief and Black Belt, and I had no idea what to pick.
Yeah, that's kind of actually why I did it. I've run 2-man strats with red mages and black mages, with and without fast for fighters, thieves, and fighters, or black belts. So I felt comfortable with whatever. So I kind of wanted to throw all 3 choices at you to kind of trip you up and maybe get you to maybe lean into one of the other ones besides black belt and kind of get punished for it in a way. So that's really all I was thinking.
That makes sense. But yeah, I went into the tank for about 5 minutes to think about my last pick because it was on me to decide if we even had pre-promotion black magic or an all melee party or whatever. So ultimately, I went with the white mage as a compromise. I thought, maybe we get fade and it's like the seed is playable, and we get life magic and stuff. It'll make Topher like less agonizing. So it was kind of a compromise pick between trash fire comp and faster comp. But then we got fade level 1, and it was like, well, this was actually the best mage of the 3.
Yeah, no, because I actually checked the black magic shops 1 through 4, and fast wasn't there. I think temporal's level 1. So
Yeah.
it's like really the white mage was all you really wanted in the seed as far as mages go.
Yeah, and then really a weird circumstance broke in my favor in the early game. So I went straight from Melmond down to Earth, and I had a couple of houses. I immediately checked the grind tile to the left. It's like Frost Giants or something. And I managed to fade it down with only my white mage alive. She immediately hits level 12. I'm like, wait, that's an exit charge. So I get out of there, save, go back to Melmond, buy exit, which I just got enough to buy from that fight. Went back into Earth and was able to clear it in one run and exit out from the incentive.
That probably got you a couple minutes on me too, because I went up and did the manticores on the Earth tile, and none of my top 2 my fighter and thief would not die, so I had to take that fight like 10 times to get level 12 on the white mage and go back for exit instead of just 1 fight.
We did joke around about your attempt to get your thief Dang to die, and he just wouldn't do it. And
that's how it goes, dude. You put someone in the top slot, you want them to go down. No way, you're gonna get that 4th slot, that 3rd slot target, maybe 6 times in a row on the 2nd target.
Dangwoo gonna do Dangwoo things.
I also had a little trouble killing my thief. If you notice, from like Marsh Cave for the next 20 minutes or something, I left my thief poisoned and nothing would kill him, but I kept having to use inns and houses and stuff to just progress and get my magic charges back. So the thief was going from 1 to 200 to 1 to 200.
Yeah, we just thought you committed to a four-person party as part of your strategy.
I was almost thinking about it. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, my fighter and thief were like level 13 by the time they went down. So what did you use for grind? I did hard resets outside of Mirage, kind of, by the Lefane patch. It was sandworms.
Actually, the same from landing the airship at Lefane, though I was regretting when I looked just a little bit later when I was going to Sky for the first time, landing the airship south, there was a T-Rex off the power cycle, which I could have used from like level 32.
I thought about checking that too, but I was like, this is going to be fine.
Yeah, you guys were doing that at the same time, so we got a lot of fun sandwich facts in the VOD. So, because both of you were there for probably a solid 5 to 10 minutes between. I think Thunder got there first, and then Cheese was there for like a minute or two after Thunder left.
Oh, I got looped. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a bad feels too. There were a handful of bad feels for you in this run, but that's like you said, the rando gonna rando.
The only thing that I thought went favorably was that I actually got to skip Ice Cave.
Yeah, we were taking deep breaths when you flew back up to Earth Cave after clearing Waterfall. We're like, just go to Ordeals, it's right there. Go to Ordeals, it's right there. Then you went to Earth Cave and you're like, oh no, he's gonna go to Ice because it's right here. And then you flew west or east and we're like, oh, this looks like an Ice Cave path. And then you dipped into Canaria, got the tail, and we're like, okay, like, and then we're like, oh, he's gonna go promote, and it's like, okay, well, that's good because that puts you right back to being next to Ordeals and away from Ice, because we figured that Ice was some combination of bottle to TNT with the katana at the end of it, which would have been a huge time loss.
Right, yeah. So that was definitely the big fortune thing that happened to work in my favor. But yeah, it's pretty much what you said. I wasn't really planning on doing Ice. I kind of wanted to just bank on skipping Ice, thinking that, Cheese might be doing Ice because we got exit, so I'm just going to do Ordeals and see if it plays out in my favor, which it did.
That's the logic. There's actually super interesting. So I figured Ice versus Ordeals is like a coin flip when you've got exit but no warp. So I did Ordeals partially by proximity and partially because I was like, well, I need one of these, extraneous non-required dungeons to pan out for me to maybe get ahead in this. So that's also why I did Ordeals. But then I had Waterfall and Ice left, and of course Waterfall put me close to the shop with the key item and the sea dungeon anyways, so I ended up doing those together and didn't have to go to Ice.
Yeah, sounds like we had really similar routing and like ideas of when to grind and magic charge level gains and things like that.
Yeah, it wasn't the seed didn't like solve itself by any means. I mean, for starters, this is one of the few I think in the entire brackets that had a marsh canoe.
It was the only one I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, but it still was. If the variance had been a little bit lower, it could have been more exciting, but it still had some really interesting stuff going on.
True.
All right. Well, we want to give a big special shout out and thanks to SpeedGaming for helping us put on this tournament. We were featured as the first race, and now we're featured as the final race for SpeedGaming Live. It's been a fun week. Thunder, any final thoughts on SpeedGaming Live, the tournament, or anything else you want to share?
No, well, maybe it was, it was really convenient for a lot of us that it was able to be done virtually this year. Not by any good means, of course, why it happened, but it allowed a lot of people that don't travel to go to these kind of events because they just can't take off their work schedules or whatever it is. So it felt good to be able to participate virtually in it, and it was a lot of fun. It was organized really well. The crew obviously worked like crazy around the clock to make sure this whole event went as smooth as it did. But the FFR Discord is linked there in chat. And if you like to see the game, or if you like the race that you just watched and some of the things in the game, you should definitely check it out because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Duck Boot Camp's coming up. Going to start in like a week, I think. So perfect time to join if you're a new player, want to learn, figure it out. FinalFantasyRandomizer.com and get you a link to the Discord. Cheezinator, our SG Live champion, man. Congratulations once again, dude. I'm super
so
happy
much.
for you. Final thoughts on the tournament and the championship, dude.
Yeah, so I signed up for this tournament kind of last minute. I was a little bit salty about getting like 5th place in the fall league, and so our team didn't make playoffs. I was like, well, I'm really into FFR again. I want to play something. So I signed up. I didn't even have enough time to do qualifiers for seeding, but the seeding in this was kind of arbitrary anyways. Being it last minute, I didn't have like an emotional investment going in. Got initially assigned a kind of tough group, and I was just like, well, anything that goes well in this is like a bonus. Like if I actually get a money finish out of FFR, which is something we don't normally run for, sure, that's all gravy. And I was just really happy and really lucky in spots. It does take a lot of luck to get through, short randomizer seeds. These are hour and a half affairs. And some different things happen to my opponents along the way. Whether like IRL circumstances or like died to a 3 and 256, like some bizarre stuff happened. So any of this could have gone the other way, and I could have been knocked out first round.
But you didn't. You won. You pulled it out, and you earned it, dude. So
Thank you.
Fizzle, bring us home, buddy. Or ask questions, I guess. I don't know. I've been talking a lot.
I don't know.
Been
I think I
quiet.
just kind of want to give my final thoughts at this point because this race was, this was a spectacle to watch. There was a lot of like who's ahead now, and a lot of kind of like mental math to figure out like what was happening. So I want to thank both our runners for giving us one heck of a finals race to watch. I want to give a huge shout out to unspoken hero of the run, Danny3883, our resident tracker, and a big huge thanks to Caleb for being my comms partner in crime.
You're welcome.
And I believe we're turning this over for another announcement.
Yeah. Take it away, Dark Moon.
I was going to say, not exactly an announcement, but we do want to give a few shout outs and special thanks here from the tournament now that we have reached our end. On behalf of SpeedGaming, I'd like to congratulate Cheezinator for winning the tournament, as well as our runner-up, Thunderclaude, and our 2 bronze medalists, Burt Reynolds and Zenobian, along with everyone who participated and everyone who has helped provide commentary and tracking for this event. We'd also like to thank the prize pool donors during this event, Retroverse, Ikbin Mia, Caleb, Dark Moon, and Jamie Toyota. And we'd like to thank our gold ticket supporters, Ikbin Mia, Vince Easter, and Sir Linkalot, and most of all, you, the viewers. Additionally, a big thank you to the admins for this tournament, Danny3883, Darkmoon, Gregly Puff, and Dangwoo. SpeedGaming also wants to shout out Darkmoon for making the stream layouts, Draweth for making Perlers, Glassis for making the intermission music, Din and the Racetime GG staff, Kat, Jakku, and the crowd control team at Warp World, and the botmaster, Synac. And with that, let's hear it once again for our first place winner, Cheezinator. And with that, I'm turning it over to you, Caleb, for the last word.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for attending and viewing and all that.
I thought I had the last word. Goodbye.